Hi guys, I'm Gemma, and I just wanted to give you a little spiritual origin story of myself. Since in seminary, this is just a thing that needs to happen, seems like fairly regularly, so I figured I would just video it. And like I said, I am in seminary, so that's basically school you go to become a minister. In my case, I want to be a hospital chaplain. But my accent is a Wisconsin accent, so I'm from Milwaukee, and I have two parents, a mom and a dad, and two younger sisters that I grew up with. And we grew up in a very evangelical, conservative, Christian type of background where not only did we go to church on Sunday, but we also, we did Bible study, we did youth group during the week. Eventually, in middle school and high school, I went to a private Christian school, so it was even more intense as far as having Bible classes very often and worship services and things. And it came very naturally to me, I think because it was just in my culture, and then also because I'm very kind of shy and quiet and internal person, so it just happened to be a good fit for me in that way. And later on, as a teenager, I don't know if it was just teenage rebellion or if there's something deeper behind it, but I started to investigate and do research into all the different religions, but mostly the religions that were kind of in the same arena as evangelicalism. And I was looking for something where I felt like I belonged a little bit more, being kind of an outsider, having a mental health condition. I was just not feeling like I fit in. And eventually I began to study pretty intensely and practice some things related to Judaism and then also related to Catholicism, and eventually converted to Catholicism right after high school. And this was the same time, a little bit later, when I started my undergraduate studies. And they happen to be in public relations and journalism, but that's not really the most important part of what happened when I was an undergrad. So I stayed in Milwaukee, and I met my boyfriend / husband like 2 weeks into school, and then I live with him now, and I live with him and a tarantula and some houseplants. You can see a few of them behind me. So the most important thing I think that just happened was just being exposed to different people, different ways of life. Milwaukee is a very progressive city, and so I began to be interested in things like feminism, study things like LGBTQ plus rights, and that really led me to, by the time I was an upperclassman, deciding that I had to leave the church because they wouldn't ordain women, being one of the main reasons. And it was sad, but I did it, and I began to become more and more drawn to earth-based religion and studying my ancestry. So in my case, my last name is Ginther, so it's German. And I began studying that more and more, and I found out about things like heathenry and other, the Pennsylvania German / Pennsylvania Dutch spirituality and all that stuff, and became really excited to learn more about it. And so for a long time after undergrad, I was just kind of a solitary practitioner. I'm always into learning about other religions, and I'm also pretty new agey as well, but I didn't really have an organized faith community. And then I was a few years into my first job when I started having, I guess, a quarter-life crisis, or I don't know what you would call it, where I felt, I worked at a park, so I did feel very connected to nature and very connected to the people I worked with, but I also just felt like there was something that I needed to be doing that I wasn't doing. And I eventually read an article about chaplaincy, which is the first time I had understood really what chaplaincy was, and that hospitals, which I've always been weirdly drawn to hospitals have spiritual support staff. And I became really excited, and I was like, this is it, this is what I'm going to do. But then I was like, oh no, I don't have any place to go to be ordained. And I had been looking on and off at UU for actually a long time, even before this, but I never finally pushed myself to enter the doorway until UU, Unitarian Universalism, for those who are watching and don't know what that is, but until I had the call to ministry, and then I kind of took that step the inertia went away, I guess you would say. So since then, I've been in seminary, and I am looking forward to doing some work with congregations and things. My main areas of focus, of course, I love earth-based spirituality or anything with connecting to nature, even if it's secular or environmental ed, environmental stewardship, whatever it is, green initiatives. I'm definitely very passionate about that. Very passionate about mental health as somebody who works in that part-time and has a diagnosis myself. And animal ministry kind of goes right along with that. I'm becoming active in our animal ministry at church right now. Interfaith work, love it, So those are just a few of the things that I'm really passionate about. And I bring a perspective of a space theist. So I am a theistic and supernatural person. But at the same time, I respect others need to not be that. I look for that in the communities I belong to, though, that it'll at least be accepted. And so far, I've at least been accepted, even if my views are not necessarily the most popular or most predominant views. So I hope this explains a little bit about me and where I came from. But thank you so much for watching, and be blessed. Bye.